Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and today I'm bringing you a little sibling love, courtesy of the Transformers. We'll be doing a review of the Cyberverse Commander Class, Skyquake, and Dreadwing. They're basically the same mold, the only difference is their weapons, so I figured I'll do them together. And what I'll do is I'll transform one way, review them, and then transform the other one the other way and do it. So, start us off, we're going to look at Skyquake. And here's Skyquake. We're going to start off in robot mode with him. As you can see, probably the highlight of the figure, at least for me, is he comes with his cartoon accurate double chain gun type of thing. Well, not double, but chain gun type of weapon. It does split apart into two segments. That's, I guess, for storage and vehicle mode, or combining with other weapons like the Cyberverse figures can. Like the Commander class, these are made of a harder, clear plastic. So let's put that off to the side. And here is Skyquake proper. Now, outside of that little drop, he is actually very stable. His hips are a little loose, but not very loose. That orange translucent plastic continues through his cockpit area, and there is a spot on the back, which is, as we remember, for combining these with the Cyberverse vehicles to try and line them up. You can see his wings here, which do not move, and if yours moves, I've heard that the toy is broken. Now, that's something I've heard yes, I've heard no, but in my experience, the way that the pins are attached and the way things are glued together, these wings are not designed to move. So if yours moves, you have a faulty toy. There's a little red accent. It's got this nice camo green. Up here on the shoulders, you have this lighter shade of like a soupy green, and some silver down the front for his legs, arms and the feet. And you have more of that lighter green along the chest, or I guess would be the chest. For articulation, head does not move, which is very disappointing. This would have been an awesome figure if this head could move. The shoulder pads can move out of the way, so it gives you a great range of motion, so you can move them back. The ball joint there at the shoulder, ball joint at the elbow, ball jointed hips, single hinge knee, but it does give you a good range of movement, and nothing at the waist, nothing at the feet. But, you can rotate the legs around a little. You can get him some great action poses that, resemble a person two-handing a giant chain gun. But, like I said, head articulation would have done wonders for this figure. Now let's look at transformation. Okay, for transformation, you just want to start by lifting up the shoulders, getting them out of the way. Coming in through the front here, lifting up the nose cone, detaching it from the chest and back. And then as you flip it up, you want to flip those side panels, shoulder blades forward so they don't crash into the back. Swing the nose cone up all the way. Then proceed to collapse the shoulder panels in and around the nose cone area. Next, you want to come underneath. Let's just move those arms out of the way. And then what you're going to do is you're going to unhinge the chest, and you're going to swing that forward while swinging the legs back. It'll peg back in, like so. Little tricky, little tricky. You next want to rotate the legs, or you can do that beforehand, whichever fits your bill. And there's a reverse knee bend that is just enough to take these little tabs right here and peg them into little slots in the back of the wings. You might have to play with it a little. depending, but you should be able, with some minimal effort, to get this pegged up properly, where the legs look something like that. Lastly, you want to bring the arms down. There's pegs on the inside of the forearm, and then there's holes right there in the leg, and just peg it into the side. And you have Skyquake in his vehicle mode. Now, for the weapons, you have some options. You can peg them individually under each wing, or you can combine them up, and using the holes here and here in the rear, on the side of the rear part of the Gatling gun, just peg it into the top, and there you go. That's Skyquake in vehicle mode. Really, no new colors were revealed. It is very nice jet mode, and to be honest with you, a lot of people have said, and I tend to agree with them, that the Cyberverse versions of the characters are a lot better than their Voyager class versions. Now let's take a look at Dreadwing. And here's Dreadwing. One of the big differences you should notice is he comes with different weapons. Instead of coming with the giant chain gun, which he sort of used, but it looked different, it looked more like this gun, he comes with his two primary weapons. This, like I said, this near chain gun-like blaster, and his sword. The sword, of course, got a lot of use and a lot of airtime during his time on Prime, before he went out like a bitch. And, of course, they are in translucent yellow plastic, but it's very rigid. I have been told that the sword is very fragile, so handle with care, although I've never had a problem with it. And, you know, like most of the Cyberverse weapons, it does have, you know, holes and pegs that you can combine. But let's put it off to the side and take a look at Dreadwing's vehicle mode. He shares the exact same vehicle mode as Skyquake. It's just that it's a different color. Instead of having clear orange, it's that clear golden yellow here in the cockpit and in what will be the back. It's a very nice dark royal blue that I like very much. He does have yellow accents along the tail fins, and as you can see, he has two Decepticon, Air Force, Seeker, whatever insignias. That's a nice touch. Now let's get into transformation. Starting us off on transformation, you just want to come in underneath, unpeg the arms, swing them out to the side to get them out of the way, and then come in and unpeg the legs from the rear of the jet, swing them forward, go ahead and then proceed to rotate the legs at the hip to get them straight, fold up the feet, and look at this! You have Decepticon Gerwalk mode! Yeah. When did exactly this become a thing that every jet transformer, we had to see if he had a Gerwalk mode? Okay, anyway. You want to come in, grab him by the hips, proceed to flip down the chest, and while doing so, pushing it up into place, it will secure itself. There's a little slot and peg there. Like I said, keep the arms out of the way. Come into the nose cone area. Flip the side panels out and forward. And then proceed to bring down the head and nose cone. Pegging that into the body. Position the arms. Position the shoulder blades. And there you have Dreadwing. Here's Dreadwing with his weapons. This isn't how I usually pose him. I usually have him underslunging the cannon. and using the sword separately. What's nice is you can actually peg the sword into the cannon and store it on his back. The downside is the cannon will always have a bayonet because you can't store the sword without it, but you can use the sword individually. And if you remember in the Prime cartoon, the handle of the sword was also the handle of his cannon. Uh, Very nice. I mean, as you can see, he still has that predominant dark blue color. You now have some gray in the chest, down the legs, into the knees. There is a nice little shade of yellow on the underside of the wings, but usually it's blocked by the arms. He has the same articulation as his brother, uh, which is a bit a shame. Like I said, both of these guys would have benefited greatly for some head articulation, maybe even waist articulation, but I can see due to the transformation why they couldn't do it. So yeah, let's pause here, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Since I mentioned it, here's how I usually pose Dreadwing when holding his cannon. Dreadwing and Skyquake are fantastic Commander class figures. Hasbro continues to knock it out of the park with their Commander class line. Personally, I tend to favor the Cyberverse line overall as opposed to the Deluxe Voyager class because I think they're better representations without overly complex transformations or gimmicks that don't work, like the powerizer, mech tech weapons, whatever. Um, Now, what was interesting is Skyquake was supposed to be released first, but due to his short appearance in the Prime cartoon, they went ahead and pushed Dreadwing out first, and Skyquake came out towards the end of the Prime retail line. Dreadwing, I'm pretty sure, was Wave 2 and was part of the same wave as Ultra Magnus, or Skyquake was Wave 3 and was part of the same wave as Ironhide. I may have that I may have that screwed up. I mean, I think maybe Ironhide was Wave 2, Ultra Magnus was Wave 3. I'm not sure. Needless to say, Skyquake was a little harder to find. I mean, I was very lucky. I think I found him in a Walgreens, which is also where I think I found Dreadwing. But if you can't hunt him down, Amazon has some reasonable prices. I'm sure Big Bad Toy Store still has them. You may have to get the Japanese versions, but they're worth a pickup. And like I said, I think they're a lot better than their Voyager class figures. They come with weapons that are closer to what they had in the cartoon, and they just look a little better. Sure, head or waist articulation would have helped things out, but hey, it's Cyberverse. What are you gonna do? So, for Dreadwing and Skyquake, this is your old pal Chuck. We'll see you next time.